market, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But let's welcome first Michael Partara and Carl Otterson to the studio. Hello, both.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Well, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. So you are behind Shimla Gin. So tell us about Shimla Gin, Michael.
Yeah, it's a gin that we've just launched recently. That's it's got basically the background is it's kind of got the inspiration of India, and we basically make it in the UK in West Midlands, and
you're West Midlands,
Birmingham, Brummie. Birmingham, Brummie. Yeah,
born and bred.
Born and bred. I'm glad you couldn't tell straight away because most people kind of hate the accent. But
oh no, we love it here.
Well,
BBC Radio West Midlands. It's, we love it, and you know what? I think a lot more people love it now as well. But yeah, so was it your dad's idea?
Yeah. He just always been into gin and wanted to he noticed there was a gap in the market, nothing really there catering for kind of Indian flavoured gin. So he kind of decided he wanted to go for that avenue and kind of fill that gap in the market.
And it is because there's all kinds of gin, and gin is fairly easy to make in one way. Mm-hmm. You just put different things in, you put different flavours in, and there's all kinds of different local gins now. But I've never come across one that has an Indian feel to it.
Yeah. I mean, especially considering if you think about it, gin and tonic originally originated from India. Basically,
I mean, it's actually a bit of a. Why has this not happened before?
Exactly. So he came up with the idea, and then I came on board, and I kind of wanted to bring. Obviously we can't say the brand name, but you know, there's a famous vodka that's extremely smooth.
Yes.
So I kind of we don't have, in gin you don't have that.
Yeah.
The most gins, most alcohol has a kind of kick to it. So
it's all about how much you distill it, isn't it?
There's distilling, but also it's the ingredients. We found. I mean, it took us 3 years to kind of formulate the right recipe, and we found a particular ingredient that kind of just instills a really silky smooth flavour to it. So when you have the gin, you could almost drink it neat. It's very, very smooth, basically.
You are making me feel like a gin and tonic right now. It's not even 12 o'clock yet, but it's Christmas. Well, nearly.
Exactly. Time to celebrate.
But did you think, and I'm going to come on to Carl in a minute, who works at the company as well. Did you ever think this is what you'd be doing? I don't know what you were doing beforehand. Have you always worked with your dad, with family? And I'm going to tell the listeners the story of how I met your dad in a minute. But yeah, have you always worked within the family?
I've done my own things in the past, but then obviously, we've got a few different family interests for different businesses, so obviously it makes sense to continue with that rather than starting from scratch.
Are they all food-based businesses?
No, actually. He's a chartered accountant, so from that he's obviously got the expertise and knowledge of different things, so we've got loads of different interests, basically. Healthcare, accountancy.
So is this the first foray into food and drink?
Into food and drink, yeah.
Well, I know you've brought one for me to have a look at, which is amazing, but I've just got to relay the story of how I met Talwinder, your dad. We were at the German market, and I was with some friends, and I'd gone to the loo and they went to the bar, and they didn't get me one because they didn't know what I wanted. Came back and it had shut because it was literally just before 9 o'clock, and then about 1 minute after. Wouldn't serve me. Went to another little one. There was your dad and a colleague. And I was going, oh no. And he said, no, I can't serve you. And they were like, we'll get you one instead. And he still wouldn't do that. He was like, no, my licence. And then your dad gave me his drink instead. He said, I can't let you not have a drink with your friends. You take this one. What a star!
Total, that is him in a nutshell. Definitely.
It was honestly, and then we got chatting, and then I found out about Shimla Gin, which, Carl, is an absolutely great idea, isn't it?
It is, because it picks up on what is the great immigrant history of the Midlands, and has picked up on the inspired by elements that come from the history of the Patara family from the Punjab. Based around this very famous town called Shimla, which the English you may recognise as Simla, because it was very much written about in the time of the British Raj. And it's made locally here, so it's inspired by India, but made in England.
How did you get involved, Carl? So were you who, they've not done food and drink, are you who they brought in to help with that side of it?
Not exactly, not for that. But Talwinder and I would do business together, so he plunked a bottle of gin on the table and said, here, tell me what you think. So I took it back. I took one small sip of it. It got to basically my Adam's apple, and I'm going, oh my God, that's the best drink I've ever had since ages when it comes to gin. So the following day, I was basically saying, okay, tell me your business model. Tell me how you're going to market. Tell me about the branding. Tell me about the image.
Because I'm getting involved.
Because I can see where the opportunity is, and I can see where it can go, but how are you doing it? And then he basically winked and said, thank you for asking those questions, Carl. Could you help? So that's how I wrapped myself into it.
And how's 2022 been?
Where
are you at the moment with the business?
Well, I mean, it soft launched in July at a series of controllable events. Like Natural, we did something at the Park Hotel in London. And we actually formally launched only 10 days ago at the Liverpool Gin Festival. And three really good things happened. First off is we'd found a really good mixologist, a guy called Matt Brennan, who helped us put together a number of cocktails. We decided last minute to actually present the gin with the cocktails, because I'm used to drinking this type of stuff neat. I would never think this would go into a cocktail because of the particularity, the intense smoothness of its flavor. It works brilliantly in cocktails. We were actually 4 deep of people waiting to order a cocktail from us. We basically turned into a bar.
I mean, cocktails, neat. I'm in for it. It sounds like it's going to be successful. It sounds like you've hit on something.
Yes.
And you are launching now. It's a really exciting time. It's before Christmas as well.
Yeah.
So I suppose people should watch this space, because they're going to see this brand, aren't they?
Yeah, because
more and more.
Yeah, because I mean, the entire core of it is it comes from here.
I was going to say, how much it's about the West Midlands as well.
It totally is, right? So we want to develop it as one of the, let's call it, reference points for people to remember. We need to be present at events, which we'll be sponsoring, we'll be partnering with. We want to get the buzz out. We want people to come and enjoy it, whether it's straight out of the bottle or in a cocktail.
I mean, how much of it are you going to be drinking, Michael, and the family over the next few weeks?
You know what, I'll be honest with you, I've always been
or are you
more
not
of a...
drinking?
If he drinks it all, we don't have any to sell.
Yeah,
so the answer is zip.
That's true. It's not allowed.
I've always been into whiskies and spiced rum. That's my background.
Right.
And this actually has... I've never really liked gin, but... And I know I've got a vested interest in saying this, and I know it's probably going to sound like marketing, but I really love it. It is really nice.
Well, you know what? Thank you for coming in and telling us about it. And I know you know, it is a business, and it's a good plug. But I think it's really interesting that it's such a gap in the market. And it's been come up with right here in Birmingham, and it was great to meet your dad like that as well. So keep in touch. We'll find out how it's going to be. If it's going to be world famous, we'll get you back in.
Brilliant. It will be.
Hopefully.
Thank you very much, Michael Padzara and Carl Otterson from Shimla Gin, right here.